Hello, welcome. In this video, we're going to see how to make purchase and sales documents in Sage Gestion Commercial. Already, you need to know that for you to make purchase and sales documents, you need to create a depot. If you do not have a depot, what we call depot de stock, you will not have the possibility to create a purchase document or a sales document. If you come to traitement and take document des achats, it's not going to go in case you do not have a depot de stock. So when you get to depot de stock, mine is already there. When you take nouveau, you have the possibility to give the name of the depot de stock. What's depot de stock? Depot de stock is simply a place where you keep your stock. It could be a warehouse, or it could be different warehouses, or it could equally be your point of sales, or the store where you actually realize the sales. So now I usually advise you start by creating the point of sales such that you can be entering goods and selling them from the point of sales. Then also create a warehouse in case you have one, such that when you have some goods that are going to the warehouse, you can transfer them to the warehouse. If it's your first time creating a depot, you're surely going to see blur défini comme dépôt principal. Like for example, here I've created one. I just put the point of sales. Point of sales, sorry, is written in French, point of sales. And when you create this one, you're going to see a défini comme dépôt principal will not be highlighted. It's going to be ticked automatically because that's the first depot you're creating. And as the first depot you're creating, what happens is that first depot becomes the principal depot. It therefore means that each time you buy goods, it will enter in this depot. Each time you sell goods, it is equally going to enter in this depot. In our subsequent videos, we're going to see how to transfer some goods from one depot to another one easily. But after you must have created this depot, which is surely going to be point of sales, you can actually can input other information, responsible depot, the person responsible of the depot, address, where the depot is located, and everything. You can equally create another one which can be called a warehouse, warehouse or magazin. I could say warehouse of a fulan, for example, just to say the name of the warehouse. It could be named differently or whatsoever. You now put the person who is responsible of the warehouse and all detailed informations. This is just to permit you to track the different places where your inventories are. But once you create this first one, point of sales, it is going to be ticked, showing that it is a principal warehouse. If you create it and you don't want it to be the principal warehouse, you want, for example, another depot to be the principal warehouse, you enter into it and you take here défini comme dépôt principal. If I make défini comme dépôt principal, what will happen here is that each time I buy goods, by default it will come and enter in this warehouse. Each time I sell goods, it will sell from this warehouse. So that is it. And now it is the one that's going to be ticked. But for now, I'm not going to make this the default warehouse or the default depot. I'm going to make point de vente the default depot, knowing that the point de vente is the point of sales, actually the store where sales are being done. So each time we buy goods, it will first of all enter here before we can transfer them some to the warehouse. So wow, now you have the possibility to create a purchase document, document des achats. What's a purchase document? Is simply a document that will permit you to impute goods in your system when you go to the market and you buy goods in the business. When you come with it, you obviously have to create what we call document des achats to show you that you've bought goods. Now, this process is going to impute quantities in stock or update the quantities in stock. Like I have some items here. and some of them have goods, like you can see a stock here. Some of them have goods, some of them do not have goods in stock. So we are going to make a purchase document for some items here and see how it goes, see how it's going to affect the stock situation. When you get to traitement, you take document des achats. You're going to see all the documents you've done before. You can take nouveau, and here you can start from préparation de commande bon de commande, bon de livraison, bon de retour, bon d'avoir, financier, facture. All these are just the different processes of purchase. You can start by making a preparation de command, like you're preparing a purchase order, then you make it a purchase order, which is bon de commande. Then you can then receive what we call a bon de livraison, which is a paper showing that your goods are being transferred to you. Bon de retour, in case you check on the goods that were sent to you and there are some that are not according to what you asked for, you make what we call a bon de retour to send it back to the supplier. Here you have facture, which is the final stage, and this stage is actually going to enter goods into the system. If you use any of the documents before this, they are not going to affect your stock. So facture is going to affect your stock, but you should know that facture here means invoice, and invoice is a document that is sent to you when you have not paid. So after creating this document, you obviously have to go and make payments. It means that if you enter goods in a facture, the supplier you've selected when creating this facture, you will be owing him the sum of money showing on that document. So you can actually start by creating a bon de commande, then you convert it to a facture, or you can go directly and create a facture if at all you've bought the goods without making a bon de commande, which is a purchase order. Bon de commande is purchase order. You could make a purchase order which is not going to affect your stock. This document is a non-posting document. What I mean by non-posting document is not going to post any entry in your books. But after you must have created a bon de commande, you can then convert it into a facture. We are going to see the two. We are going to start by creating a facture, see how it affects the stock. Then we're going to create a bon de commande, see how it does not affect the stock. Then we're going to convert this bon de commande to a facture and see how it will definitely affect the stock. So let's start with facture. Click OK, and a facture is going to open. First thing you need to do is to select the furnisher, which is the supplier you're getting the goods from. I'll just have to select the supplier from the list. If the supplier is not existing, you can come to structure and you take furnisher to create a new furnisher. After you must have selected the supplier, you just need to come and take here validate. When you take validate, the portion down now will be open for you to start selecting the items you've actually purchased. So I'm going to impute some items. Say these we've bought 100 units. So we've bought 100, let's say 100 units. I take enregistré. Let me get another item. This item we bought, for example, 200 units. Which other item? Actually, when I put the item name, when I put the item reference, I press the tab key on my keyboard to pop up this list, so that it should show me the different items that are in my list of items. So I select the item in question, I put the quantities that were purchased or that were delivered to me, say 190, and so on and so forth. So when I'm done imputing all the items, all I need to do here is to just take close, like just close it. Actually the total of the document is going to be here, which will be equivalent to the document you've received from your supplier. So henceforth, if I come, for example, to structure, I take those articles I just selected, they are going to be in stock. As at now, you're going to see them in stock. When I say in stock, it means that when you look at stock really, you're going to see that they are available. I don't really know exactly which item I selected, but I think I selected this item. Let me just check. I can come back to document des achats and see the last document I created. This is the last document I created. I can check inside. I selected Allez Bébé. If I go look for Allez Bébé, for example, in my list of items, which might not be the same as yours in your company file, you're gonna see the 100 units, and it is actually 100 units I purchased. If I look at the Rapid Clair, for example, if I look for Rapid Clair, where is it? Okay, let me look for it. Rapid Clair. Let me expand the page. Rapid Clair, 200 units. As you can see, 200 units here is because I actually entered 200 units in stock and so on. So this is gonna affect your stock. When you close, it's gone. but you should know that the amount that is in this invoice is actually has not actually been paid. It means that you're owing the supplier this sum of money. So the second thing we're going to do before making settlements, we're going to see how to start by creating a purchase order, then we convert it into an invoice. Like if you send a purchase order to your supplier, purchase order just showing the different items you want to purchase, you want to get, and so on. So you just take nouveau, and instead of taking facture directly, you take bon de commande, which is purchase order, and you take OK. So we are going to select the supplier to whom we want to send the purchase order and take validate naturally, and we start imputing the items we want to buy. We want to inquire from our supplier, please do you have this, and they're going to send it to us. So I'm going to select, for example, this 42. I'm going to order for 195 units. I take enregistré. I select the order item I'm asking from my supplier, which is surely going to be this item piment d'Olution, say 100 units. Going to select another item, this with for example 300 units, just an example. So when I create this, you can see here 42 Tomic Lotion. If I come to items, or let me say articles, it was 42 Tomic Lotion. Can you see nothing is in stock? Though I have already created the document, but as you can see, nothing is in stock. Like nothing is in stock for this particular item, because the document I've just created is a non-posting document. It is just a document, it's just a bon de commande, it's just a purchase order. It's just as if you took a paper to go to the market, you wrote some few things you need to get from the market and so on, and maybe you sent to the supplier and so on. So you can actually print it if you have created a print format. There's a video we've made in a channel to show how to create a print format for different type of documents. We're going to get to that. So you can print it, or you can just take close, and that document is created, and the document status is envoyé, like to be sent, envoyé, to be sent. But the other documents that we created facture are comptabilisés, meaning they are already ready to be transferred to a search comptabilité. So this document is non-posting, it has not affected our stock, nothing is done. We just send it to supplier for him to send us the goods. When the supplier finally sends us the goods, we get into it again, we check whether what we ordered is what came, and we convert this to an invoice. So how do we convert it to an invoice? When we enter here, we need to come to I think it's transformer. This is transformer. We get to transformer. When we click transformer, it is saying that indiquer vers quel type transformer ce document. So presently it is bon de commande, so we cannot select bon de commande again. We can instead select bon de livraison, which is a document that the supplier will send when he sends the items which were ordered. So I could convert it to bon de livraison, then further come and convert it to a facture when the supplier sends the facture. But let me just say that the supplier has sent the facture at once with the goods, so I'm going to select here facture, and all I have to do here is select the date. I'm converting it to a facture, say a different date. What else? If I want to print a document after I must have taken OK, I just take this, but I'm not going to do that. So I just take OK, and this document will now be converted to Word to a purchase document, a document facture, which is already affecting our stock. If we go, for example, in items, we check on this 24, I think it was 24 Tommy, you're going to see the 195 items already there, because the purchase order has been converted to what? To an invoice. So what next? After you must have done this, it shows that your supplier, you're owing your supplier. If you come, for example, to état, to statistique fournisseur, or you can still take analyse fournisseur, chiffre d'affaires fournisseur, for example. I'm going to make aperçu avec impression. You're going to see that you're owing your supplier a particular sum of money. Sorry, it's showing a little bit tight up because I'm using a different ticket size. But if you also come to statistique fournisseur or par article, for example, you're going to see all the statistics concerning your supplier. Or you can equally come to fournisseur. Under structure, you can equally come to fournisseur. You go you go in that particular supplier and you come to interroger. And when you get to this interroger, you are going to see everything that happened with that supplier and showing that the chiffre d'affaires, which is the turnover with this supplier, is this sum of money. And what else? It is going to show you the statistic d'achat. Each time you purchase the different months, you made a purchase of goods from him, and the total turnover you've done with him. Also, when you get to it here, you come to solvabilité. You are going to see how much you're still owing him. It means that for this particular supplier, we've made a turnover of 1,870,600 francs. We've paid this portefeuille règlement. We've paid him already 1 million, and we left with 800,000 to pay him 869,000. So I think it is due to the invoice we just created. No, this invoice is how much? 300 and something thousand. There's another invoice we surely made, which is 500,000, and I think the other ones were already settled. Yeah, this one there's nothing inside. This one too has been settled. When you enter in an invoice and you see you don't have the possibility to enter items again, just know that it has been settled. This one too, I think it has been settled. Yeah, this one has been settled. That is why you saw the 1 million has been settled and 800,000 has not yet been settled, because of these two invoices we just created with that particular supplier. So how do we pay our bills? The day we then definitely have our money and we want to give it back to the supplier, what we're gonna do is that we can either pass through the invoice, or we can equally make it differently by coming to Gestion de règlement, where we can actually manage settlement of suppliers and equally manage settlements of customers. If you come here to Gestion de règlement, you can see règlement client, règlement fournisseur. So if the customer is paying back his money, you can come and make here a règlement client. Or if you are paying back your money, your supplier's money, you come here to say règlement fournisseur. Here it will be a global amount. It will not be based on a particular invoice. Here, when you come here, you are settling globally. You are not settling based on this invoice number 4 or this invoice number 5. But if you come to the invoice itself, you can settle just this invoice. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I come to saisir de règlement fournisseur, here there's nothing like I'm settling invoice number 1, number 2, number 3. It's just recording the settlement. I just need to select the supplier and take a fichier. Then it is going to show me that we've already paid all these sums of money and so on. I can make another entry of payment directly, put in the date, put in the description, put in the supplier's general account, and put in the amount I'm paying. I'm selecting the account with which I'm using to pay. Then I just click on registry. Say I'm paying 100,000, just like that, and I'm just going to take registry, and it shows that I've paid that guy 100,000. Simple. But if I come through the invoices, I can equally pay a complete invoice. Like, okay, this invoice is worth 509,000. I can come here to pied and I take règlement, pied règlement, and I take pied règlement. I just put a description. The total amount of the invoice appears here. If I'm paying the complete amount, good and fine, allow it like this. Or if I'm paying partially, say 100,000, I just write the 100,000 here, and we are gone. I just select the journal code I'm using to make the settlement, which I'm going to use journal de caisse, which is a cash journal. And the that is all. I just put a description. I'm just going to write here being payments, and that's all. I take OK. It shows that I've paid this guy. If I come to structure fournisseur, I come and interrogate this supplier, I'm going to see that I'm owing him just 200 and the 60,500. Do you remember we first of all paid 100, then we paid again 500,000, that's already 600,000, and we were owing him closely 800,000, which is very logical. So that's how you make settlements. Same thing when it comes to purchases, sales. When a customer comes and buy from you on credit, you also come to document, traitement. You take document de vente. Here, Extra created some document de vente already. You just need to take nouveau. If the customer is sending you a purchase order, you also create a bon de commande. But if you're selling the goods already and giving out the goods already and sending the invoice to him already, you have to take facture. When you take facture, you take OK. You start by selecting the customer in question. I'm just going to select customer John, and I take validate. I start imputing the different items this customer is taking. Say he's taking this item, say he's taking 10 units, and I take enregistrer. So gradually I will be selecting the different items the customer is taking. But what I should put in mind is that anything I enter here is on credit. It means that if I enter these units and the total amount here is called the net amount payable, it has not yet been paid, just like we made for a purchase document. However, if you want to print it, you just come and take here imprimé, and if you have a print format like I have one already. If you do not have one, you can check on one of our videos. We'll see how to create them, or we're going to get to that. It's going to show an aperçu avant impression, a print preview of your invoice, something like that you can just start printing on the printer you have connected to your machine. So in that case, we'll just take OK. When we take OK like this is the invoice in question. It shows that we are owing this particular sum customer. No, it means that this customer is owing us the particular sum of money mentioned in this document, which is 119,000. So I can actually start by passing through Pierre Règlement. When the customer comes and pay for the money, I select the amount the customer is paying, then I take OK. Or like I showed earlier before, it can equally come to traitement, règlement, client, and I select the customer who is paying his debts, I take a fichier, then I start imputing the date and put in the description. Then I put the amount he's settling. It was 19,000, I'm going to put 10,000, and I take enregistrer, and he has made his settlement. So those are the different ways you can create purchase documents, create sales document, and equally make settlements of those documents. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you in our next tutorial.